Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with my October 2020 media pickups video. So today I'm going to talk about all of the movies, the collectibles, and the video games that I grabbed in the month of October. And it is another very hefty month. They had some like Black Friday deals, or no, it wasn't Black Friday, excuse me, it was Prime Day deals going on. And with that, you had Best Buy, Target, all these other stores matching these Prime Day deals. So I just have a lot of stuff to go through today. I think I have like 45 movies. I have like 6 or so, maybe 5 Funko Pops to talk about. Only one video game, but it's there too. It's represented. So that's always a good thing. So I don't want to waste any time at all. And I will mention though, I have started putting in some trailers. I did have some copyright issues with one of those in my last video. So I'm going to be a little bit more selective about the trailers. I'm not going to put one up for every single movie. I'll put them up for ones that I think either that warrant it for one reason or another. There will be something else to look at other than this ugly mug for the entirety of however obnoxiously long this video is sure to be. But anyway, I've wasted enough time, so let's not do that anymore. Like I said, I have about 45 movies, 5 Funko Pops to talk about, and 1 video game. I'm going to go in that reverse order. I'll talk video games, Funko Pops, and then finally I will wrap it up with movies. I'll go DVDs, Blu-rays, and then 4K at the end. So hopefully you will find something that you're interested in if you're not interested in it all. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. The one and only video game I grabbed last month was kind of when I was in my phase for video games, because I just picked up Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I think I picked up the SpongeBob remake right around the same time. This one ended up falling into October, so I waited to include it. And this is Star Wars Squadrons for the PlayStation 4. So I am very much an Xbox guy over my PS4 just because I like the controller better. I've said it 1,000 times on social media. Nothing wrong at all with the PS4. I just personally prefer the Xbox controller, which is why next week I will be getting the Xbox Series X as opposed to the PlayStation 5. Now, that said, if I had the money, I would be absolutely grabbing both, but that's just not in the cards right now. So I'm going to hold off on the PS5, at least for the time being. Anyway, I'm on tangents and we're only one thing in, so that's never a good sign. But I ended up grabbing Star Wars Squadron. So the reason I grabbed this one on PS4, which is what I was trying to circle back to, is because of this little tag right here, PlayStation VR. If you guys have been following the channel, you'll know that sometime this year, whenever it was, earlier this year, maybe April-ish, I ended up buying the PlayStation VR, and I have a ton of games for it. I have not used it nearly as much as I should have, given what I paid for it, but that's just the way things go sometimes. But anyway, this one, I've heard excellent things about the VR mode, and I haven't opened it yet. I've just not been in the mood to bust out the PSVR and play it yet. So eventually I will get to this one. Star Wars Squadrons on PlayStation 4, specifically on PSVR. Excited to see how this one is when I get around to it. All right, so let's move over to the collectibles I grabbed last month, and these are all going to be Funko Pops. So let's start with this one here because it was such a random find that I was very happy to get. We have Lost number 417. This is John Locke. So this I was very thrilled to find because if we turn it over to the back here, you guys might remember I found a lot of these for like $3 each at Second and Charles earlier this year. And so I'm trying to collect all of them. At this point, all I need to collect now is Sawyer and Hurley, and then I will have the entire Lost collection, which I am thrilled about because this is one of my favorite shows of all time. Absolutely love it, and yeah, I cannot wait to have this full collection. I ended up running across this one at a disc replay for about $10, so I was very happy to find it, and I didn't have to pay any extra price for it because it was on eBay or anything like that. So I love finding my Funko Pops in the wild, so I always would prefer that over ordering them online, and this one I'm very happy to say I was able to find in store. So John Locke from Lost is the first Funko Pop I grabbed last month. Let's move over to this one next just because it's so random. I honestly haven't even seen the movie, but both of these were on sale, and I love one of them very much, so I wanted to collect both of them just so I had the full set, and they were both on sale for like $4 or $5 at FYE, and so I figured, you know what, I like one of them, let's just grab both of them. We have from The Shape of Water, we have Amphibian Man and Elisa. I am very happy that I was able to find both of these, as you can see on the back of the box, which is really, what I use to consider a collection complete. You have just these two figures on it. So for me, this is all I need for Shape of Water. Now, this is one that I actually own on 4K, and I picked it up to put it on in the month of October, but I found out it was a little bit over 2 hours, so I said, you know what, not tonight, I'm going to come back to it. So hopefully I will get to this one by the end of the year. But yeah, Shape of Water, Amphibian Man, and Elisa with Broom, very cool figures, and I really love the Amphibian Man one, which is the main reason I wanted to grab either of these. So very happy to have these two in the collection. These next two, I was super excited to find because I'd been looking a lot of different places for them and was not able to find them. And I think this one I actually found from Disc Replay. It must have been a used one because it has one of the used stickers. You can see it was $6.99, but this is from the Purge election year and it's Freak Bride. So I absolutely love this series of Funko Pops. And the only other one I didn't have from this set going into this month was Freak Bride and the Lady Liberty. So I was super excited to find this one. And then just a couple days later, I was at a different Disc Replay, I believe, and I found Lady Liberty. So I had not seen either of these in store at all since I started collecting them like maybe a month or two ago. And so just to come across these two, it was very fortunate, and I am so happy now that I have a complete Purge collection for my Funko Pops. Like, these are some of my favorite figures in the collection because, one, I love the Purge series, the Purge franchise, and now I have these awesome looking Pops to go along with them, which are super cool. I think last month I found Waving God, and then the month before that I picked up Big Pig and Betsy Ross. So these are just really cool figures, and hopefully I'm showing you guys my complete collection, or I have showed you my complete collection, because I think these are awesome to show off. So I love these ones very much. Very happy to have found these in the wild once again. So Freak Bride and Lady Liberty are the final two Funko Pops that I ended up grabbing last month. Now let's move over to the main reason that most of you are likely here, and that is the movie portion of this video. So I'm going to start with DVDs, which I have 8 to talk about. Specifically, amongst those DVDs, I'm going to start with ones that I found at the Dollar Tree. So this was basically leftovers. I ended up at a random Dollar Tree throughout sometime in October, most likely the beginning of October, and these were just leftovers that looked interesting, and so I picked them up because, again, these were $1 each, so it's not a big deal. I didn't have enough to make a separate Dollar Tree haul video for these, and so I figured I would just include them here. So first up, we have the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I believe this one was from 1982 or 1982, I was right. And this has Anthony Hopkins as the Hunchback, which just sounds amazing. So very interested in checking this one out. I've never even knew that Anthony Hopkins played this role at any point in his career, so this was a really interesting find. Next up was just a random one that looked pretty decent. This is called Village Quest, and this one, it looks like, was released in 2015. So this, of course, is probably very typical, just a Viking movie. Probably was produced due to the popularity of the television show Vikings, I would have to imagine. So yeah, I don't know anything other than that about it, but the cover grabbed my attention, and so for $1, I figured I would grab it. So Viking Quest from 2015. This next one I'm really excited about because I love documentaries, and that's what this is. This is The Prisoner, or How I Plan to Kill Tony Blair. So apparently the filmmakers on this one were kind of randomly around when this individual was arrested for plotting to kill Tony Blair. And then they later found out that he was at, I never say this correctly, but Abu Ghraib prison, however you say that. And so they eventually tracked him down in Iraq years later, and this is the film that was created out of it. So this sounds fascinating, and I love documentaries. So this is one I'll definitely check out eventually, and I'm really excited to see if it's any good or not. So we have The Prisoner, or How I Plan to Kill Tony Blair from 2007. This next one looks really cool just because it has Norman Reedus in it from The Walking Dead, of course. And it is sounds like a apocalyptic film. It's called Air. Basically, they're in the future. Breathable air is non-existent, and virtually all of humanity has disappeared, and those chosen to reestablish society reside in a controlled state of suspended animation. And then, yeah, it goes on from there. So this sounds really interesting, and it has a really good cast. So this one should be really interesting. I love this type of film, a sci-fi, apocalyptic thriller. Sounds right up my alley. So I'm definitely going to check this one out. So we have Air, and this one looks like it was released in 2015. This last one is the final one I grabbed from Dollar Tree, and it's actually the last DVD I'm going to show today because I forgot the other DVDs I grabbed from the thrift store, so I am going to do a thrift store haul in a separate video, so those are going to be included in there. So there's only these 5, not 8. I apologize, I forgot about it until now, but this is a double feature with Money Talks and All About the Benjamins. So, you know, both of these are movies I've always heard about, heard good things about, supposed to be pretty funny, but I've never seen either of them, so I'm very interested in checking both of these out. So you have Mike Epps, Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, Charlie Sheen. Like, these casts are very good and they should be a heck of a lot of fun to watch. So Money Talks and All About the Benjamins is the last DVD I grabbed last month from Dollar Tree. So let's move over to Blu-rays now, and I have 9 of those to talk about. The first 5 I'm going to talk about here were all ones that I grabbed from... Oh, shoot. No. All right, had a little spill there, had to pick everything up, but let's get back to it. So the first one I grabbed was See No Evil from 2006. So this one holds a special place in my heart because it stars Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane from the WWE. He is, you know, just one of my favorites of all time, just because his legacy is just incredible. And so I love Kane, and I love this movie. At least the first time I watched it, I loved it. WWE ran this whole program leading up to this whole storyline, leading up to Kane's role as Jacob Goodnight in See No Evil back in 2006 when this was about to premiere in theaters. And so I remember that very fondly, and I really enjoyed the film when it came out. It's just a slasher film. It's just kind of one of those silly slasher films, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I realized that I didn't own it, and so I needed to grab the Blu-ray. And now I have See No Evil 2, which I actually have not seen. I have that one in my Amazon cart, so I plan on grabbing that sometime very soon, but had to start with the original because I found it in stores. So See No Evil from 2006 is the first one I grabbed from Disc Replay this past month. Another horror movie I grabbed last month was Leatherface from 2017. So this, I believe, is a prequel. Yeah, it says the origin story for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I'm a huge fan of the Texas Chainsaw series, but I have yet to see this one. So I now own it, so I have no excuse. I will probably watch this one sooner rather than later just because I love TCM so very, very much. So we'll see how Leatherface is. I know it has not gotten a ton of rave reviews, but it's something I'll probably enjoy given my history with the series. So hopefully I will get to this soon and enjoy it. So we have Leatherface from 2017. From 2015, a film that I just bought to kind of fill in my collection, we have Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So I'm a little bit upset at myself for buying this one on Blu-ray. For some reason, I didn't think it was on 4K. I thought only the next one in the series was. That was just wrong. That was just dumb of me. I have no idea why I thought that, but I ended up finding this on Blu-ray for cheap, so I ended up picking it up so I could fill in that Mission Impossible collection. Now, mind you, I've not seen a single Mission Impossible film, but that's okay. I had to fill in the collection. Just the OCD in me made me do it, so I did. So we have Mission Impossible Rogue Nation from 2015. This next one was a really cool find because it's one that I actually own the soundtrack to it on vinyl, and I think it's just phenomenal. So I've never seen the film, and I need to correct that. This is Only God Forgives, and I believe this one released in 2013, and this one has Ryan Gosling in the leading role. So I'm hoping that this is something similar to Drive, not in what the story's about, but just kind of that tone, that kind of exploitative tone that Drive had. I'm hoping I find that here. And Drive had another one with just an incredible soundtrack. So I'm hoping that Only God Forgives is similar feel to that one because I loved that movie. So this one I've always heard great things about, and I'm really excited to check it out. So Only God Forgives from 2013 starring Ryan Gosling. The final Blu-ray that I picked up from Disc Replay, so the final one I got used, was Men in Black 3, and this is actually the 3D Blu-ray version of it, as you can see at the top here. So I found this one, it was only like $1 more than the standard version, and again, another one just to kind of fill in the series. I have 1 and 2 on Blu-ray behind me, I needed 3, and then international. So I now have Men in Black 3, and like I said, this one does have the Blu-ray 3D disc, which fortunately I opened my disc before I left, or my case before I left, because they actually gave me 2 versions of the Blu-ray, the standard Blu-ray, and didn't include the black disc there, the 3D version. So I was able to correct that error before I left, which always makes me happy. So Men in Black 3, and this is where it starts that I've not seen the Men in Black series. I've only seen Men in Black 1 and 2. I love those from my much younger days, and so I'm excited to see what Men in Black 3 holds, and then eventually Men in Black International. I was talking about Leatherface a couple minutes ago. Well, the other one I didn't own on Blu-ray that I absolutely needed to because it's my favorite from the entire franchise, to be honest with you. We have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and this one was released in 2003, I believe. Yeah, 2003. This is, like I said, one of my favorites of all time. This is the reason I will always give remakes a chance. Now, mind you, I am from the remake generation, right? I graduated high school in 2004. I was seeing horror movies in theaters from 2001, 2002 on. And so remakes was just my generation of horror. That's when I really fell in love with the genre as, a more, not mature, but just as an older individual. And I love them. So I am always going to give a horror remake a chance because of this film. Like, this one blew me away, and I love it so much. So this one I own on DVD and have since the day it came out on DVD, and the DVD version of it is awesome because it comes with this collectible tin that you stick in it. It's not a steelbook, it is like a insert that goes inside of it. Very cool, and it has just a ton of special features. There's an entire feature-length documentary on there about Ed Gein, the serial killer, which, if you know me, you know that that's something I'm fascinated by, and of course was one of the inspirations for Leatherface, so that's why that's on there. But I didn't think I needed to upgrade. Well, it turns out that all of those special features, excluding that collectible tin, they're all available on the Blu-ray, so I needed to upgrade it as soon as I found that out. I ended up buying this one from Best Buy for $8, so super cheap, and just, again, loaded with special features. This is one of my favorites ever. I love this movie so much, so had to have it on the best format possible. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. Can't recommend this one enough if you've not seen it. Over the Halloween season, I had the craving to watch The Lost Boys, which, to be honest with you, I thought I hadn't seen previously, but I watched it, and some of the scenes were a little bit familiar, but most of it, I just must have fallen asleep for it, because I did not remember any of this, because when I went on Letterboxd, I had already reviewed it in the past, or at least given it a star ranking, so that was years and years ago, and I didn't remember any of it, so it was like watching it for the first time, but I ended up grabbing the Lost Boys trilogy, so on Blu-ray. So we have Lost Boys, The Tribe, and then Lost Boys, The Thirst. So I was hoping to get to all three of these this month, but I did not get to the sequels, and I know the sequels are not going to be nearly as good as the original, but the original is just so much fun. It is just a perfect slice of the 80s, and I loved it so much. I had such a good time with it. The cast is incredible. The music is just haunting. The special effects in that final scene are amazing. It's just so much fun. So I'm very happy to have all three of these, even if they're not the best trilogy. The first one's worth it alone, and it comes with this incredible slip cover. So I was very happy to get the slip with it. As you guys know, I love my slip covers. So anyway, the Lost Boys trilogy on Blu-ray was another one I grabbed in October. So admittedly, I do have a handful in this video that I did pick up, and I'm recording this in the first week of November. It's post-election day, 756, I think. So at least that's how it feels. But this one, I think I did grab November 1st or 2nd, but it's not a big deal. You guys don't care. It's just kind of my thing, but I want to be able to put it away so I don't have it sitting out. So I'm going to show it in this video, and we have Black Friday coming up. So I'm going to have a ton of stuff to talk about come next month anyway. But regardless, this is The Hunt. So this actually went on sale on Amazon for $10 recently, and this is a movie that I've heard so many good things about and just looks like it will be a film made for me, so I had to check it out. It is from Blumhouse, or Bloomhouse, however you want to say that, and it has Hilary Swank and Betty Gilpin in it, and it's just supposed to be a ton of gory, brutal fun. Cannot wait to dive into this one. Very excited that it was on sale for $10 because I've been waiting for it since it released at $20. So I finally got it at a price I wanted to pay for it. So we have The Hunt, and I believe this one just came out in 2020, earlier this year. So a brand new one, which makes me very excited. I have one last Blu-ray to show you guys, and it's a steelbook, so there's that. But you guys are free to make fun of me down in the comments below. I have no shame. So we have the Twilight, the Twilight collection. So this is all 5 movies in the Twilight series, as you can see there on the back. Now, I'm not a fan of these movies by any stretch of the imagination, but my wife does like them. I saw all of them in theaters, thanks to her. And, I think maybe the last 2 movies are kind of the only ones that I didn't hate. But I'm going to give them another shot just because I now own the steelbook. So the reason I wanted to get this is, 1, it's the full collection, which in one set, which I think is really cool. And 2, I just really like how the steelbook looks. I don't have it open, which I should have, but there's a nice image on the back as well. I just think it's a very well done steelbook. And so I wanted to have it in my collection. And again, I know I always say I'm not a steelbook collector, but I have a ton to show you this month. But if there's something that comes up that looks really cool, is a good price that I think is worthwhile, I'm gonna grab it. So this was one of those situations. So the Twilight Complete Saga, a Target exclusive steelbook, and that's the last Blu-ray I ended up grabbing last month. Let's move on now to the 4K pickups from last month. And I have to be honest with you, I went crazy and I didn't even realize it as I was going through the month. Like, I ended up grabbing just under 30, like 27, I believe, 4K releases last month. And I have a big mix. Some of them were from Prime Day deals. Others, I have a whole stack that was used that I found at Disc Replay. It's just kind of all over the place. So what I'm going to talk about first are the, I don't know how many, 8 or so that I found at Disc Replay. So I ended up grabbing all of these used for good prices. So let's start with those. This first one is really cool just because it's a collection on 4K, and I found it kind of randomly in the wrong spot, so I was very happy to find it, and it was pretty cheap. Like, it was, I believe, $20 for 5 movies. This is the Jack Ryan collection on 4K. So we have, let's see, Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, Sum of All Fears, Clear and Present Danger, and Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. So this is the full Jack Ryan collection, at least as far as I know it anyway. Very interested in these just because I've never seen them, and I'm sure they're just going to be fun, action movies, and that's what I'm looking for. So we have the Jack Ryan 5-film collection on 4K, and this is the first movie that I grabbed used from Disc Replay last month. This is a film that I just bought because I wanted to give a second chance to, because I didn't grow up with this one. I don't even remember seeing it as a kid, but I did see it, relatively recently, and I wasn't a big fan of it, but I want to give it another shot, and I heard the 4K looks great, so I found it used for cheap, so I picked up The Goonies on 4K. Like I said, was not a big fan of this when I ended up watching it, which I know will be sacrilege to 95% of you out there watching, and I apologize, but I am gonna give it a second shot. I had this whole idea of a movie where I watch a handful of films that I didn't like the first time around, and see if I like them any better on a repeat viewing. So this will be a part of that whenever I get around to it. So we have The Goonies on 4K. I was talking earlier about the Mission Impossible series, so I did grab Fallout on 4K, so I now have that complete series, or I think it's the complete series anyway, but this one I grabbed on 4K, where the other one I grabbed on Blu-ray. This one specifically, I see it on like top 4K lists all the time, so the disc on this is supposed to be incredible, so very happy to have this one in the collection, even if I haven't seen the Impossible or Mission Impossible movie, so it'll be quite a while before I get to it, but eventually I will watch those, and I will hopefully enjoy this one on the 4K format. Another throwback to earlier in this video, Men in Black International. So I did grab this one on 4K just because I've heard it looks incredible on the format. Again, the movie is not supposed to be that great from everything I've heard about it, but the 4K disc is supposed to be pretty good. So very interested in checking this one out. And again, this was like $10 on 4K used, so I'm not going to pass that deal up. So we'll check out Men in Black International once we watch Men in Black 3, and hopefully I will enjoy it a little bit more than some of the critics have. This is one of the very few X-Men movies I haven't seen, and this is X-Men Dark Phoenix. So here's another one. Supposed to have an excellent 4K picture, but the movie is a little bit more questionable. So I found it for a very good price used at Disc Replay, so I wanted to give it a shot. I really enjoy this series, so I'm definitely excited to check out Dark Phoenix. So Dark Phoenix on 4K. You might be noticing a theme. If I hear it has a good 4K picture, I'm picking it up, and that is what I did with The Call of the Wild. So this one is supposed to have just an impeccable picture with it, and I cannot wait to check it out. I've heard so many good things. I have heard that the dog is very clearly CGI, which usually bugs me in movies, but I'm going to give it a shot because it's Harrison Ford, and it is a classic tale. So I'm really interested in checking out The Call of the Wild. And then finally, the last one I found used last month, which was super cheap. Like, I think they may have brought it back as a Blu-ray because this was only $5.99, and it was in with the Blu-rays as opposed to their separate 4K section. But we have the Magnificent 7 remake. And this one I think was like 2013, I believe, somewhere around there. I don't see a year right now, but it was somewhere around 2013. And again, another one I've not heard many good things about at all. And frankly, I don't even know if this 4K disc is any good or not, but it was so cheap. Like, it was as cheap as the Blu-ray, so of course I'm going to pick it up. Another one to add to that 4K collection. When I can do it for $6, I'm going to give it a shot. So the Magnificent 7 is the last one I found used from Disc Replay last month. I guess I'll jump over to some Best Buy deals that I picked up. Now, this was in response to the Prime Day deals that were going on. I decided to do them through Best Buy just because it was, I could pick it up that day. So I just decided to go that route. So this one first is E.T. on 4K. So this has a really cool... Love that. Very good cover. And I did own this one on Blu-ray, so I was debating if I was going to pick it up or not, but I have read that the picture upgrade is worthwhile, so I wanted to grab this one. So yeah, this one has all of this included on the back there, so there's like a little booklet, and yeah, the Blu-ray disc obviously is in here as well. So for $10, you can't pass that up. So E.T., which is just a favorite of mine from my youth. I used to watch this VHS tape over and over and over again when I was younger because it creeped me out, to be honest. I was just scared by it. And so I just always wanted to watch it. So I love this movie. E.T. from Steven Spielberg. Another random collection, and I just remembered I did grab this one from Amazon because I don't think it was on sale at Best Buy. This is the Transformers Ultimate 5-Movie Collection. So I have been wanting to add this one to my collection since I found out it existed because I love the Transformers movies. On the Cinefessions podcast, we did a whole arc on Transformers, and I think I liked them the most out of the three of us that were watching through them in that arc. I just think they're so much fun, and the first one is probably my favorite, but I don't think they get that much worse as they go on. I really enjoy the series, and the 4K on unfortunately, no slipcover, which I'm very disappointed in, so the back just looks like garbage. But anyway, the 4K picture quality on these is just incredible, so I had to add this to my collection. So very thrilled to add Transformers, and this was only $25 during Prime Days, which is ridiculous. So 5 movies on 4K for $25. That's a great deal. I'm not going to pass that up. So the Transformers, the Ultimate 5-Movie Collection. So basically at this point in time, whatever Amazon does, Best Buy does, and vice versa. So between the last 2 weeks, they have been having these 4K deals, bringing these 4K discs down to $10 or less, which is just awesome. And I've taken advantage of it quite a bit. So these first two I grabbed from Amazon, and this is Knives Out. So this is one that I've just heard incredible things about. It's supposed to be one of the top 4K discs you can buy. I'm a sucker when I read things like that, clearly. So yeah, this is just a ton of fun from what I hear. So I'm really excited to check it out. This is a murder mystery of some sort, so should be a blast. And it's a Rian Johnson film, who is just an incredible director. So I'm sure this one will be a lot of fun. And I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is in there. So I mean, yes, I'm interested. So yeah, we'll check this one out very, very soon. So Knives Out on 4K. And along with Knives Out, I ended up grabbing Midway. So this is another one that, it was one that wasn't on my list, but it was one I've always considered putting on my list because it's a war film. And I figured that a war film was going to look pretty darn good on 4K, so I wanted to grab it. So this one, I've heard, pretty decent things about. It's supposed to be just one of those typical war films, and that's okay. Just a typical Hollywood war film. I tend to enjoy those when I watch them. So we'll check this one out. I'm hoping that the audio and the visual quality on this will be worth the $10 that I paid for it alone. So we have Midway from 2019. So remember earlier how I was talking about that there were some movies that I bought in November, but I'm going to show them here. Well, these next 4 are ones that I actually bought today, the day I'm filming this, which it's Thursday after the election. So whatever that date is. But these were $10 or $8, and I'll tell you which was which. So first up, we have Ghost in the Shell, and this was only $10 today. So this is the ScarJo remake. So I know everybody hates it, but that's okay. I imagine that the visuals alone will be pretty interesting, and I haven't seen the animated one that I bought last month yet, so I'll probably watch these back to back to see which one I prefer. But this one was only $10 on sale at Best Buy today, and I will note it's the only one that didn't come with a slipcover, so that's pretty annoying. But regardless, I bought this one today. This next one was only $8 today. I grabbed this from Best Buy also. This is Rocket Man. So I am a huge Elton John fan. I love his music so much, and I think he has lived such a fascinating and interesting life. So I really want to check out Rocket Man. It's a biopic. They did Bohemian Rhapsody, which I think I picked up a month or two ago. And so to go along with that, I will maybe do a double feature of Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man. So very interested to check this one out, especially for finding it for $8. Here's a movie that some of you might be shocked that I have not seen yet, but I now have it and Christmas is coming up, so I will definitely be watching this one this year. We have It's a Wonderful Life. on 4K. So this was one that was on sale for $10, so I had to pick it up. I found out I don't own this one, period. I didn't own any of these 4 today that I picked up. And so these are not just upgrades, but these are brand new to me movies. So very happy that I was able to find It's a Wonderful Life so cheap. And again, this is another one I hear that the picture quality is really, really well done. So excited to finally check out the Christmas classic that is It's a Wonderful Life. And finally, from my the last one from today's Best Buy pickup, for $10 once again, we have another Stanley Kubrick film, Full Metal Jacket. So this one does have a Best Buy exclusive steelbook. That one wasn't on sale, just the standard release was, which is fine by me. This is just another Kubrick film to add to my collection, and I was shocked that I didn't own this one already because I really thought I did, but clearly I didn't, so now I do. Heard great things about this one, and I am trying to own all of Kubrick's films and eventually watch through them all, so this will be another one to add to that collection. We'll call this pile just the random pile, like just random ones that I bought new over the past month. So first up, we have what is going to complete my Star Wars collection on 4K. We have Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. So this one I'd been waiting for it to go on sale for the longest time, and it just wouldn't. It finally dropped down to $19.99, so I picked it up. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the slipcover, which is just whatever. It's a little bit frustrating because these slipcovers on these look really good. So I might try to find that eventually at some point. But anyway, I am very happy to have this one. And I really enjoyed this film. I've seen it once when it was out in theaters new, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm very interested in checking this one out again on the 4K format. So Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. This was a random new release that I found out was coming out like the next day when I was going through some of my DVDs, and I saw this one in there, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if they have a Blu-ray of this. Well, I searched on Amazon, and turns out Requiem for a Dream had a 4K release coming out the next day. So I ended up just pre-ordering it, and I'm getting rid of my DVD. I'll get the 10 cents for that, so to take the cost off of this 4K disc. But I've read really good reviews about the 4K release, so I wanted to check it out. And this is a Darren, however you say his name, Darren Aronofsky film, and so I love his work. Like Black Swan is just stunning. It is a beautiful film, and so I really wanted to check out Requiem for a Dream. I've always heard good things about it, and it's just one of those kind of crazy films that you need to see at least once, so I figured I would check it out in the best format possible. Next up, we have Beetlejuice, and this is a movie I love. I've always loved it, and I just watched it the other night in 4K, and oh my gosh, it looks fantastic. Like the restoration job that was done here, or whatever they did, it just looks so, so good. Definitely recommend this one on the 4K format, but this is just a classic. It's just so much fun. Michael Keaton is brilliant in this movie, as is Winona Ryder. Like, it's just such a fun movie. I cannot recommend this enough. So if you have not upgraded to the 4K yet and you have that capability or interest, definitely worth the upgrade. I ended up grabbing this one. It's normally $20. There is a Best Buy exclusive steelbook for $25. This one was an upgrade. I do own this on Blu-ray, but I now have the 4K disc of it, so the Blu-ray has just been rendered obsolete in my eyes because this looks fantastic. So Beetlejuice on 4K, cannot recommend enough. Speaking of ones that I've already watched and was kind of blown away by the 4K picture, we have Alien. So I've been wanting this disc for the longest time. I have no idea why I didn't buy it. It was down to like $12 at one point, like a few weeks after it came out, but I decided to wait. And so finally I was able to find it. It was only $15 at Best Buy, and it was kind of just a random, I'm here, I want to watch it. I just read the novelization, so I wanted to watch the movie again. I figured I would pick up the 4K disc of it and check it out that way. And they did such a fantastic job with this release. Like, it looks amazing. It's just so much detail. Like, it looks fantastic. I loved it so much. So it was like watching it again for the first time. Just having that alien pop out of those dark scenes in the back, it just looks so awesome. And it was just such a great visual experience to watch Alien in 4K. So very happy that I ended up picking this one up last month. So here's one that everybody and their grandmother picked up, and I don't blame them. We have Back to the Future, the trilogy on 4K. Now, most people did end up going with the Steelbook exclusive, or I guess it wasn't an exclusive, but they ended up going with the Steelbook, which was like $15 or $25 more. So because it was so much more expensive, I didn't go with that. I just stuck with the standard release of it, which I am perfectly happy with. I've bought this trilogy on DVD, on Blu-ray, and now on 4K. Like, I don't need to spend any more on this trilogy. So I was very happy to get this one I think I got it for about $40 on Amazon instead of paying the $65, I believe it was, for the Steelbook edition. But I will say, if you are a Steelbook collector, those Steelbooks look fantastic. So if you're, thinking about pulling out the extra cash for it, it's worth it. But for me, I just needed the standard edition of this. So very excited to watch this one. I was specifically waiting for November just because October I was trying to do horror movies. So I will be watching this one ASAP this month. So Back to the Future, the trilogy on 4K. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be the very last time I have to buy this trilogy on any format. But we'll see where the future takes us. Here is a movie that I just adore. I've talked about it before. I'm a big found footage fan, and this one is one of my favorites. So I actually ordered this one like maybe a month and a half ago, but it was on back order, so I just got it a few days back. We have Cloverfield. This is a found footage monster film, and it is fantastic. Like, if you can handle shaky cam, check this movie out if you've missed it. But by now, I'm sure everyone who's watching this has seen Cloverfield. There are 2 sequels to them. I thoroughly love 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's one of my favorites. The Cloverfield Paradox, which was a Netflix exclusive, came out like randomly the night after right after the Super Bowl ended that year. So of course I watched it that night, and it was okay. I think I like it more than most people do, but I'm just weird like that. So anyway, this is a really fun trilogy, and Cloverfield is probably my favorite of the bunch, even though 10 Cloverfield Lane it's just a very different movie, but it's still fantastic. So I love this series, and I'm very happy to have this one on the 4K format. The last from my random buys, we have from Arrow Video, we have Pitch Black. So this is another one that the first time I watched it, I didn't really like it, but I wanted to check it out again, and I wanted it on 4K. The other reason I grabbed this one is just because this one is getting harder and harder to find as the days go on. I don't want to pay the ridiculous price for it on eBay, when this goes out of print. So I picked it up from Best Buy for $20, which is the standard price for it, as opposed to, I think Amazon right now, it might even be $10 more. Don't quote me on that though. Check for yourself. But yeah, I've heard really great things about the transfer on this. It's supposed to look incredible. So, I want to support Arrow's 4K releases because I want to see more of them as the years go on and the months go on. So we'll see, if this one sells well, hopefully we'll get more of it. And it's just loaded to the brim with all these features here on the back, which, you may or may not be able to check out if you pause the video. I don't know. This one, I want to check it out again. It's another one that I want to put along with the Goonies as one of those give it a second chance videos that I hope to make in the future. So we'll check this one out again. We have Vin Diesel in Pitch Black on 4K. All right, so we have 5 more 4K releases to talk about today, and these are all Best Buy exclusive steelbooks. So we'll start with the ones I got from like the Prime Day sale that Best Buy was having. First up, we have Justice League on 4K. I know people don't like the DC Extended Universe, but I love it. And Justice League, I thought, was just so much fun. This steelbook is brilliant. Like, I love the simplicity of it. I think it's so gorgeous. So this was one, I'm trying to have the entire DCEU on 4K. This is one I didn't have. So for $10, I was very happy to add the steelbook, which looks phenomenal, to the collection. So Justice League is the first one I ended up grabbing during the Prime Day sales at Best Buy. And then the second one is the Best Buy exclusive Gremlins steelbook. So this is another one. Of course, I own this on Blu-ray, but this steelbook is beautiful. And I've heard really good things about the transfer. So definitely going to check this one out as we get closer to the holidays because, for obvious reasons. So very excited to add both of these to the collection. And these were both only $10 each. Like, that's a really good deal for these beautiful steelbooks. So I was very happy to get in while they were still available. Here's another one I got on sale, and I guess technically this is not a Best Buy exclusive, but it's a Mondo exclusive that they sell at Best Buy. Either way, we have you're not going to be able to see it, but it's A Quiet Place. So if you guys watched my wrap up for, I believe it was last month, I talked about A Quiet Place and how much I adored that film. It was brilliant. I gave it a perfect 5 out of 5. I was just emotionally a wreck at the end of this movie, which I didn't expect. It's so good. And this steelbook is so simple and it's awesome. I love it. So very happy to add this one to the collection. Normally, I think this is like a $20 steelbook, but it dropped down to like $12, I think it was, the other day. So this was a really good find at the cheap price. So the Mondo exclusive steelbook for A Quiet Place for like $13 just a couple weeks ago. Here's another one that the reason I got this one is because it's only available from Best Buy on 4K. So if I wanted to watch the 4K edition of it, I had to get it this way. And I'm a huge fan. Hate me all you want. I'm a huge fan of Shia LaBeouf. This is a Shia LaBeouf film, so I'm very interested in checking this out. This is The Tax Collector. And I think this one just came out either earlier this year or last year. Yeah, 2020. So this is a 2020 film that I will check out very soon just because like I said, I really enjoy Shia LaBeouf's work. I want to see how he does here. And one of my favorite 4K reviewers that I follow on YouTube, Movie Guy 365, he said that this movie gets a lot of hate, but it doesn't deserve it. So I'm hoping that I will feel the same way. So this is another Best Buy exclusive steelbook. And the only way you can get The Tax Collector on 4K is via Best Buy, via this steelbook. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. And last but not least, the final Best Buy exclusive 4K steelbook I grabbed last month is arguably the one that I've been most excited about all year. Ever since it was announced, I had it in my head that I was getting this day one. And that's exactly what I did, because this is one of my favorite movies. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to check out how it looks on 4K. We have Frank Miller's 300. This is just a film that it reminds me of my high school days so very much, because I remember going to the theaters and seeing this and just being so blown away by how fun it was, just the brutality of it all, and kind of like the hoorah-ness of it all was just so much fun, and it really got me as a high schooler. So I cannot wait to check this one out again. I have seen it, maybe once or twice since then, and I've always enjoyed it. So I really am excited to check out this 4K release of it. So, we'll check it out soon. The steelbook itself, you can see there, it looks fine. I'm not totally blown away by it, but I'm glad I picked it up, because I think it was like a day or two later, it was going for ridiculous amounts of money on eBay, and because you couldn't find it at any Best Buy. So this is one I'm very happy to have the steelbook for, simply because it's going to be very rare. So the longer I hold on to it, the more value it holds, which if something can hold its value, I'm definitely more interested in it. So that's what's the case here. So super excited that I was able to add this one to the collection, and cannot wait to talk about it in one of my upcoming wrap-ups. So the last movie I grabbed last month is the Best Buy exclusive 4K steelbook for 300. All right, you guys, so that is going to do it. That is all of the non-book media that I grabbed in the month of October. And like I told you guys, it was an incredible month for pickups. I hope you guys enjoyed me sharing what I grabbed. Let me know down in the comments below, what did you find last month? Did you take advantage of the Prime Day sales that were going on? And what did you get if you did? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to have more of a conversation with you guys down there. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to Cinefessions here on YouTube. And if not, thank you anyway for watching this one. I really do appreciate that. And like I always say, I don't just talk one piece of media. I talk all things media. Books, movies, video games, comics, you name it. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might think about subscribing. All right, guys, this was another super long video, I'm sure. So I really appreciate you guys making it all the way to the end. That really means a heck of a lot to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The other thing I want to say thank you for is because I haven't mentioned it yet, but recently I did hit 500 subscribers here on the channel, which is just an incredible milestone. It is, halfway to 1,000, which is always the goal for any YouTuber who puts any amount of passion into the content they create here on this platform. So thank you guys so much. I hope hopefully sometime next year, we'll be talking about getting close to that 1,000 mark. But thank you guys so much. It just means the world to me that you care enough to hit that subscribe button. So if you do enjoy the channel, let other people know about it so I just can continue to grow, which I love to see. So thank you guys so much. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for today. I just want to say again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.